and your mercies are new every morning. Father, we thank you for life. We thank you for health. We thank you for being able to be here, present, to be able to celebrate another week of energy, an energy week. Father, you know the purpose that we are here is to have a debate. Help that the debate will be very informative and competitive. Father, touch the debaters. Help that, grant them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding so that when they present, that they will do it with emphasis, expression, and confidence. Father, not forgetting the judges, Lord. Help that they will be very attentive so that they will listen to everything that is said and done. And at the end of the day, their judgment will be impartial. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen and amen.
In today's digital age, the integration of AI into education has sparked both excitement and concern. On one hand, it promises personalized learning, increased access to knowledge, and the potential to revolutionize the way we educate ourselves. On the other hand, it raises questions about the role of AI in shaping our intellectual development and the potential it poses to the very essence of academia, academic integrity, and critical thinking. Over the course of this debate, we will hear well-researched arguments from our talented debaters who will shed light on the various facets of this complex issue. We have two teams, one advocating for the benefits of AI in education, and the other expressing concerns about its implications. Their insights and perspectives will guide us in understanding the nuances of this topic. Our aim here is not to provide definitive answers, but to encourage critical thinking, stimulate dialogue, and explore the potential consequences and advantages of AI in education. I encourage all of you, our esteemed audience, to actively engage in this conversation at the end. Your comments would be most welcome. And on that point, I would like to extend a special welcome to all the students and young adults in the audience. Your presence here is of utmost significance. Having recently journeyed through or being in a position where you're currently traveling through the education system, you have a unique perspective and first-hand experiences of the challenges and opportunities that AI presents. Your opinions matter greatly, and we eagerly anticipate hearing your voices at the end of today's discussion. As we move forward, I would like to emphasize the importance of respect. While we may hold differing viewpoints, let us remember that respect for one another's opinions is paramount. It is through this respect that we can foster a productive and inclusive atmosphere for our debate. Let us keep an open mind, maintain respect for one another's viewpoints, and foster a lively and constructive atmosphere throughout this debate. As we delve into the depths of this subject, may we leave here today with a greater understanding of the role AI plays in our educational landscape and the impact it has on academic integrity and critical thinking. Today, we gather not merely to declare winners and losers, but to engage in profound exploration of an issue that will surely deeply affect us all. The very essence of a debate lies in the exchange of ideas, the sharpening of perspectives, and the expansion of knowledge. Winning is not our primary objective. Rather, it is the pursuit of truth, understanding, and enlightenment that guides our path. It is also worth mentioning that today marks a significant milestone for our unit. This debate represents our first foray into the realm of debating, and we are thrilled to embark on this journey. It is a testament to our commitment to staying at the forefront of critical discourse in the age of technology and innovation. Let us harness the excitement and curiosity that brought us all here today. Let us engage in this dialogue with an open heart and an open mind, embracing the exchange of ideas as a means to refine our understanding of such a complex issue. As we navigate the intersection of AI and education, let us embark on a journey of intellectual growth, and may our collective insights illuminate the path forward. Thank you for being a part of this event, and without further ado, let me introduce your moderator for today's proceedings. Tiffany is currently employed as a medical officer and works collaboratively with the primary and secondary health teams in the Ministry of Health, as well as a health educator. She was born on the island of Montserrat during the volcanic era and is well known for community engagement in sports, performing arts, debating, and youth activism. She is a proud alumni of the Montserrat Community College and the University of the West Indies. She has represented the Emerald Isle in regional netball and internationally at various leadership conferences. She prides herself on living a life of service and makes time to give back to her community as an active member of the Montserrat Children's Society and other nonprofit agencies. In her role as a CARICOM Youth Ambassador for Montserrat, she is an advocate and provides opportunities for youth to share their voices while building capacity for leadership. She believes strongly in regional integration and the ability of young people to forge a bright and prosperous future by working together for our region. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you your moderator for tonight, Dr. Tiffany Skerritt.
Good evening. Thank you, Ms. Payne. Good evening to our audience. I'd like to adopt the protocol that has been established and welcome you to the Ministry of Communication Works Labor and Energy debate for their Energy Month celebrations. This evening, I have the pleasure of moderating the debate, and the moot topic is artificial intelligence, which is what we call AI, in education poses a threat to academic integrity and critical thinking ability. It is indeed a timely, trending, important topic, and we're happy to stimulate some conversation around it this evening. Before we dive into the meat of the debate, I would like to go through a few housekeeping matters and to run you through our rules as well as to introduce our judges. So I'm going to start with our competition judges, and as I introduce them, please make them welcome. Judges will be in the center, at the center table, and our special judges to the left. Our lead judge this evening is Mr. Nish Brown. He's a 28-year-old who currently works at the Department of Information Technology and E-Government Services, DITES, as a systems analyst. He also holds the esteemed position of Chief Executive Officer at Fourth Dimension LLC, which is a local software company. He graduated from the University of the West Indies in 2018 with a degree in computer science, and while at the University of the West Indies, exhibited exceptional talent and a passion for debating. He showcased his prowess by representing his hall and becoming a pivotal member of his hall's debating society as a writer. His strategic thinking and ability to craft winning arguments led his team to secure victories in consecutive years, claiming top honors in debates in both 2016 and 2017. So please make welcome our lead judge, Mr. Nish Brown. Nerissa Golden is a media and business strategist and Amazon best-selling multi-genre author. She is Chief Executive Officer of Golden Media, LLC, which manages digital lifestyle, education, and news brands, including Discover Montserrat, Truly Caribbean, and Emerald Vibes TV. She's also the founder of Naji, an e-learning community for Caribbean entrepreneurs. Please welcome Ms. Nerissa Golden. Our final judge for this evening under the main competition segment is Ms. Ronald White. She is a graduate-trained teacher employed with the government of Montserrat, teaching English language and literature at the Montserrat Secondary School. Her passion for the arts led her to pursue a Master of the Arts degree in Creative Arts at the University of the West Indies, Cave Hill campus. Ms. White is a former debater who represented her country in the renowned Leeward Islands debating competition and has a genuine passion for the art form. Please welcome our final judge, Ms. Ronald White. So I'm going to brief you quickly on the rules for this evening's debate. Each debating team will comprise of 2 persons, a leader and a second speaker. teams will be comprised of a proposition side, which will be led by 2 students from the Montserrat Community College, and the opposition team, which would be represented by 2 members of the Montserrat Youth Parliament. The leaders present first for a maximum of 10 minutes and may present the rebuttal for a maximum of 5 minutes. The second speaker will present for a maximum of 7 minutes and may present the rebuttal for a maximum of 5 minutes. That is to say that either leader or second will have the opportunity to present the rebuttal. In terms of procedure, the leader of the proposition will make a speech for a maximum of 10 minutes, followed by the leader of the opposition for a maximum of 10 minutes, with our second speakers also proceeding after for a maximum of 7 minutes. Between this segment and the rebuttal, both teams will be given a total of 5 minutes to prepare the rebuttals, and the opposition will rebut first for a maximum of 5 minutes, followed by the proposition for a maximum of 5 minutes. At the end of the allotted time, speakers will vacate the lectern. The timekeeper will give a warning signal 1 minute before the expiration of the speaker's allotted time, and again at the end of the allotted time. Following the rebuttal, the adjudicators will be escorted to a secure venue for their deliberations, and deliberations should last no longer than 15 minutes. Before the start of deliberations, all score sheets will be collected on which the scores have been documented, and the final scores will be tallied to determine the winning team and the results. During the time when the judges step out to deliberate, we will have an open discussion related to the moot at hand. Upon the return of officials, the results will be revealed. In terms of allotments, there is a grace period of 10 seconds, a 10-second window to wrap up the debate after the allotted period, after which I will invite the speaker to vacate the lectern. Right. In the event of a tie, the score sheets of the 2 judges with the highest scores will be used to determine the winner. So that is out of the way. I'd like to invite at this time and to read the bios for our best speaker judges. And this evening we have 2 judges for the best speaker category. We have Sandra Thomas, a graduate of the Montserrat Community College, who has had a focus on tourism and business management and has exhibited remarkable dedication to debating, utilizing his skills to engage in insightful discussions. Beyond his academic pursuits, Sandra is a driving force in youth work and actively involved in his youth ministry at church. His commitment to fostering growth and empowerment among young individuals is truly commendable. Additionally, Sandra is renowned for his adeptness in creating inclusive environments that embrace diverse viewpoints, reflecting his passion for nurturing respectful dialogues. Please make welcome our first judge for Best Speaker, Mr. Sandra Thomas. Ms. Siobhan Chewett serves as the Chief Statistician at the Statistics Department of Montserrat with the Ministry of Finance and Economic Management. With a diverse background and a master's degree in official statistics, Siobhan has progressed through various roles, starting as an accounts clerk and advancing to her current position. An ardent advocate for integrating official statistics into decision-making, Siobhan actively contributes to national development planning for the government and people of Montserrat. She is a former member of the Montserrat Debating Society and served as an auditor in 2021 and later as a Best Speaker judge in 2020 for the Leeward Islands debating competitions, highlighting her commitment to both intellectual discourse and community engagement. Please make welcome Ms. Siobhan Chewett, our second judge for the Best Speaker category. To complete our team of officials for this evening, I'd like you to just make welcome our 2 auditors, Ms. Devika Rodney and Ms. Marissa Allen, and our timekeeper, Ms. Jody Baptist. Please put your hands together for our completed team. So now that you know who our judges are, I know you'd like to know the criteria so that you yourself can keep score. And so in terms of our criteria for first speaker, we are looking at soundness of points, accuracy of points, substantiation by examples, quotes and statistics. This category is for 20 points. Logical development, which represents 15 points. Argument is developed along logical lines and presented in a well-ordered manner. Audibility and clarity, Speaker must be able to present the argument loudly, clearly, and distinctly. This is for a total of 10 points. Posture and personality, the ability to reach out, capture, and hold the audience's attention through the effective use of body language. That's 15 points. Command of language must be comfortable with the proper use of grammar, vocabulary, and expression for 15 points. And command of material for 10, and body language for 15. First speakers will be judged for a total of 100 points, and second speakers for a total of 110 points over similar criteria. Now, to invite our debaters. So as I mentioned before, this debate is being organized by the Ministry of Communications, Works, Labor, and Energy for their Energy Month. And this evening, we have two teams. Our proposition team, which will be represented by the Montserrat Community College. Our first speaker, Ms. Alia Weeks, and second speaker, Ms. Tene Fergus. Please make them welcome. Our opposition team will be represented by the Montserrat Youth Parliament. First speaker, Ms. Kayla West. Second speaker, Ms. Michaela Cole. Please put your hands together for our teams. I know you're wondering what's up for grabs other than the joy of beautiful discourse and the exchange of ideas. And this evening, the top prize for the winners will be 2 laptop computers donated by the Montserrat Network Limited. Our second place winners will receive 2 smartphones, compliments of Flo Montserrat. The ministry will be providing Amazon gift cards, ministry branded paraphernalia, and certificates of participation. So thank you to our sponsors for getting involved and providing prizes for our participants. So again, I give the order. We will start with our proposition first speaker, followed by our opposition first speaker, followed by the second speaker for the proposition, and then the second speaker for the opposition. Debaters, are we ready? Okay. All right, judges. And so I'd like to invite our proposition speaker, first speaker, Ms. Alia Weeks from the Montserrat Community College, to present her argument. Again, to remind those viewing, the moot is artificial intelligence, AI, in education poses a threat to academic integrity and critical thinking ability.
Imagine a world where AI does all the thinking for us. A world where we no longer have to analyze and critically evaluate information. A world where a machine becomes our personal brain. Is this the future we envision for our children and future generations? Madam Moderator, honorable adjudicators, my most esteemed colleagues, members of the listening and viewing audience, a pleasant evening. My colleague and I stand here to assertively propose the notion that artificial intelligence in education poses a threat to academic integrity and critical thinking ability. We cannot escape the fact that artificial intelligence is life-changing. It has already transformed several industries from the transportation sector to healthcare. My colleague and I are not here to convince you that artificial intelligence is bad. However, in a world where we are sometimes influenced to blindly accept everything, we are here to caution you that everything that glitters is not gold. While AI has the ability to revolutionize all aspects of education, we must be mindful of its potential dangers. For the purpose of ensuring there is complete understanding of this topic, allow me to define the key terms of the moot. The term artificial intelligence, or AI, is defined by the US State Department as a machine-based system that can, for a given set of human-defined objectives, make predictions, recommendations, or decisions influencing real or virtual environments. Critical thinking, according to the Internet Public Library, relates to the human ability to collate and understand information from numerous facts, observations, and arguments to form a coherent judgment. The Oxford Dictionary defines education as a trust, fairness, respect, responsibility, and courage in an academic setting. The Oxford Dictionary defines a threat as a person or thing that is likely to cause trouble or danger. Therefore, the moot can be rephrased as follows. The use of the machine-based systems designed to make predictions and decisions in the process of teaching and learning are a threat to an individual's ability to form a coherent judgment and uphold the principles of fairness, respect, and honesty in academia. Madam Moderator, allow me the opportunity to present my first point. Artificial intelligence exacerbates an already well-documented issue permeating the traditional education system, that is, students who can best regurgitate a series of memorized facts are the ones who are rewarded with the highest accolades at the end of the academic year. As a direct result, Caribbean workplaces are plagued with graduates who are not critical thinkers. A study published in the International Journal of Higher Education in the Eastern Caribbean reported that students leaving secondary school in the OECS do not possess the critical thinking skills required for today's labor market. My learned audience, the promotion of critical thinking is not an attribute associated with AI. The purpose of artificial intelligence is to reduce the cognitive load on an individual. What this simply means is that AI is designed to decrease the amount of effort that an individual exerts while reasoning and thinking. In learning, AI-powered tools such as search engines and chatbots are used as shortcuts to knowledge. Dr. Marianne Wolf, a cognitive neuroscientist at the University of California, Los Angeles, in discussing the impact of artificial intelligence on critical thinking, argued that while AI can provide us with vast amounts of information, it poses challenges to deep thinking, which involves critical analysis and the ability to make connections between ideas. According to Dr. Wolf, and I quote, "When students rely solely on AI to find information, they miss out on the cognitive processes involved in evaluating the credibility and relevant sources," end quote. Is this the future we want for our children? A future generation of students incapable of independent thought? The increased usage of artificial intelligence creates a dependency on the technology that can lead to laziness. The unprecedented convenience that AI has afforded us comes with a heavy price. With voice-activated assistants and virtual helpers, tasks that once required some level of effort are now outsourced to our smartphone. Imagine asking your iPhone, "Hey Siri, can you think for me today?" Due to the innovative design paradigm brought on by the artificial intelligence, addictive technology is becoming harder and harder to resist. Tech companies are already using strategies in algorithms that can lead to over-reliance and addiction. This phenomenon is evident in activities like binge-watching, playing online games, and posting on social media. Remember the Candy Crush epidemic a few years ago? With algorithms learning our schedules and habits, we are bound to become dependent. A study conducted in June 2023 among university students in Pakistan and China found that 68.9% of laziness among those surveyed was due to the impact of artificial intelligence. Social service communication went on to state that the technology causes teachers and students to lose their decision-making abilities as much of their work is assisted or replaced by AI technology. When teachers outsource the grading of assignments to a machine, what then will be their role? The members of the opposition may choose to argue that this will allow them to have more time to concentrate on other teaching responsibilities, such as learning, lesson planning, and providing individualized support to students. But this, my friends, is a slippery slope. If teachers can use the tool to mark papers and provide feedback, soon the AI will be used to plan lessons and take over every aspect of the teaching practice. We cannot allow the desire for immediacy and instantaneous results to make us sacrifice the intangible gains from one-on-one teacher-student relationships. Furthermore, while automated grading systems may be convenient for educators, can we really trust AI to accurately assess the complex information and nuances in a student's work? Or is it that we are sacrificing the tenets of objectivity and accuracy for the sake of convenience? Added to this is the real concern about the potential biases that are embedded in our AI algorithms. This concern became a reality when the British government cancelled A-level exams due to COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. The decision was taken to use an algorithm to predict students' final grades. The idea was that algorithm would compensate for the tendency by teachers to inflate the expected performance of their students and instead provide more accurate predictions. But what happened? The algorithm downgraded the scores for 40% of the predicted performances, with the highest number of victims being from historically lower performing schools. Professor at the Queen's University Smith School of Business, Anton Ochinikov, described this as, and I quote, a crisis of data abuse, end quote. You see, machine learning algorithms rely on vast amounts of information to identify patterns and make predictions. If AI systems are used, for example, to grade an essay, the grade will only reflect the data set that it was trained on. This means it can underrepresent a specific demographic, which can particularly bias persons from minority racial and ethnic groups. We cannot afford these geographical inequalities to penetrate our educational institutions. Moderator, honorable adjudicators, my worthy opponents, it is clear from the evidence presented that AI will diminish the academic integrity of educational institutions, as teachers will rely solely on machine-based systems to evaluate students' performance. Additionally, students will be robbed of the opportunity to develop critical thinking skills, which are imperative for the world of work and more generally for navigating life. My teammates will conclude our argument by further exploring the ethical concerns raised by AI-driven technologies. In the interim, I boldly contend that AI technology, artificial intelligence in education, is not a panacea. It has the potential to erode independent thought and become the ultimate accomplice in academic dishonesty. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Weeks. That was our first speaker for the proposition team representing the Montserrat Community College. We thank all of those who are joining us virtually for being a part of the discussions. And we move right along to our first speaker for the opposition representing the Montserrat Youth Parliament. The moot again is artificial intelligence in education poses a threat to academic integrity and critical thinking ability. Please welcome Ms. Kayla West, first speaker for the opposition.
Moderator, esteemed judges, fellow debaters, viewing and listening audience, good evening. Tonight, my colleague and I will convince you without a doubt that artificial intelligence in education does not pose a threat to academic integrity and critical thinking ability. In fact, we will show you that the opposite is true and highlight that AI will actually serve to enhance academic integrity and expand critical thinking ability. George Couros, a world leader in the area of innovative teaching and learning, said, "Technology will not replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational." Technologies such as artificial intelligence in education can be of great benefit to both teachers and students alike. Tonight, will bring to light how AI can encourage research and revision and how it can provide the foundation for greater academic discoveries. My learned colleague and I will then outline how AI can be advantageous to teachers and students. Moderator, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines artificial intelligence, or AI, as the capability of computer systems or algorithms to imitate intelligent human behavior. Artificial intelligence is transforming daily life and industry, becoming an essential component of our modern world. Supporters of AI contend that this technology has many advantages, while skeptics warn of the potential risks and moral dilemmas. Just like the proposition today, many in the audience may hold the narrow view that AI has had a negative impact within the education sector. Moderator, the integration of AI into our daily lives has supposedly increased instances of plagiarism, questioning academic integrity, and fostering a lack of creativity, resulting in a loss of critical thinking ability. We disagree with this simplistic assessment. While we do not deny the perception that academic integrity may be challenged by the advancements of AI, this potentially negative aspect does not outweigh the many positive applications. Moderator, we therefore posit that AI, if utilized correctly, can be a catalyst for rapid improvement and innovation within the education system. AI can help students learn more effectively by providing personalized feedback and guidance. For example, AI-powered writing tools can help students improve their writing skills by identifying areas for improvement and suggesting corrections. This can help students develop critical thinking skills by encouraging them to analyze their own work and identify areas for improvement. While it is true that a student can ask an AI application, such as ChatGPT, to write an essay for them, the process to get a good result is not straightforward. Let me briefly walk you through this process. First, the student must conceptualize a prompt that will yield sufficient and accurate information. Remember, garbage in usually means garbage out. It takes someone with critical thinking capabilities to develop a suitable prompt for the software to return useful text. After ChatGPT has written the requested essay, that student must then review the essay and rephrase or paraphrase and employ other editing techniques in order to make the work appear original and composed in their own style. This initially simple task may actually end up being more complicated and require more thought and research than if the students actually wrote their own essay from scratch. This approach may paradoxically result in the students gaining greater insight into the subject matter as they work to personalize the essay. All of that extra effort is necessary because teachers are now equipped with such sophisticated AI tools that will expose text generated by ChatGPT and quickly identify other forms of plagiarism. The teacher's job is also made infinitely easier with these tools because plagiarism did not start with the technological age. 20 years ago, a student would easily get away with copying entire paragraphs from books they read in the library, provided that the teacher did not read that particular text. With the tools AI provide, they can check for plagiarism, and it would be next to impossible for a student to get away with copying from any published text without properly citing and annotating it. So, you can see, by default, AI increases rather than decreases academic integrity. 21st century education and academia is no longer just about remembering, reading, and regurgitating information. Artificial intelligence tools create the platform for quickly establishing a baseline of knowledge from which rapid innovation can occur. I'm sure we can all agree that it is more advantageous to society if students can build on accepted knowledge rather than reinventing the wheel every time we want to design a new car. The head start possible through the use of AI means quicker development of products, while in no way eliminating the need for critical thinking. In fact, more time can be spent on critical thinking rather than on carrying out mundane knowledge-gathering tasks. Navigating this unknown territory has been challenging for educators. At present, there are no agreed-upon policies or approaches when it comes to AI in education. Some institutions have gone as far as to ban AI, such as ChatGPT, in schools. However, we know young people these days are very tech-savvy and are able to access ChatGPT and other forms of AI outside of schools. There is no definitive way to ensure students do not use AI, which is why we must learn to adapt and take advantage of this evolving technology. Moderator, this argument is not simply about introducing AI into technology, but rather using the technology effectively. We must overcome the often unfounded fear of new technology and innovation and embrace the advantages that they present. Integration of AI tools into the teaching and learning process in Montserrat education system should be fairly easy, given our small size and handful of education institutions. Moderator, the proposition speakers are peddling in fear, an understandable fear, that is born of a lack of understanding and limited examination of the subject matter. However, I've shown you how the positives of AI far outweigh the supposed negatives. Let us therefore respectfully park their reservations with regard to artificial intelligence, since it poses no material threat to academic integrity and promotes rather than discourages critical thinking. I urge the government and people of Montserrat to embrace artificial intelligence as a tool for rapid development and properly utilize the new technologies afforded to us. I leave you with a quote by John Dewey, a renowned pragmatist and educator. If we teach today as we taught yesterday, we rob our children of tomorrow. Thank you.
We thank our first speakers for setting a foundation for this evening's debate. The proposition first speaker completed her speech in a time of 9 minutes and 56 seconds. And the opposition first speaker completed her speech in a time of 8 minutes and 52 seconds. So we thank both speakers for warming up the space. We know that those online have joined us, and we thank the audience for being here and sharing in this evening's discussions. We move on to our second speaker for the proposition. She represents the Montserrat Community College, Ms. Tene Fergus. Please make her welcome.
Consider the year 2033. Location, MSS Fifth Form. Event, CXC Mathematics. Amy sits at her desk and shuffles nervously as she awaits paper 1. After some time, she begins. Section 1, mental arithmetic. The question, 35 plus 19 equals. Without thinking, Amy blurts out, "Alexa, what is 30? Young lady," exclaims the invigilator from across the room. No talking. Amy is left in a panic. How is she expected to complete the exam without Alexa? Madam Moderator, honorable adjudicators, my most esteemed colleagues, members of the listening and viewing audience, Unfortunately, this is the future we face if we do not control the brewing threat of AI in all facets of our children's lives, especially at school. Our children stand to become mentally stunted and overly dependent on AI for the simplest of problems. It is for fear of this future that my colleague and I stand resolved in our position that artificial intelligence in education poses a threat to academic integrity and critical thinking ability. My colleague has highlighted how the increased usage of artificial intelligence can hinder the ability of students to engage with complex ideas and think critically. She underscored how the increased use and addiction of AI among students can lead to laziness and the fact that technology can perpetuate existing inequalities in our education system. I will further our position by examining the following points. 1. AI promotes a culture of cheating, eroding credibility in the education system. And 2, AI can be misused by students to plagiarize. As my colleague stated, the principles of fairness, truthfulness, and responsibility are fundamental values of academic integrity, and the reputation of an educational institution relies on how well the students and faculty promote and practice these principles. When a student graduates from an institution with a degree or certificate, they are expected to possess a given set of knowledge and skills. But when this knowledge is solely generated by third-party technology, who should receive the certificate? The student or the robot? Let that marinate for a minute. The UK Guardian newspaper in 2000 and 2021 reported an alarming rise in contract cheating in universities since the COVID-19 pandemic. This, it said, was due to a rise in online websites offering this service. But what is contract cheating, you may ask? It is hiring a third party or a ghostwriter to complete work, such as writing an essay or taking an exam on a student's behalf. Contract cheating is currently a concern among universities and institutions of higher education worldwide. But imagine how detrimental this practice can become with the widespread availability of AI writing tools. Instead of paying with AI text generation software, students are now able to generate original written work for free. Rehan Haque, CEO of the artificial intelligence company MetaTalent.ai, stated that, and I quote, "At present, well over half of students are likely using AI tools to cheat the education system in exams or essays." End of quote. A survey conducted by Study.com, a US-based distance education platform, found that 26% of kindergarten to grade 12 students in the United States had already caught at least one student cheating using AI software. Even closer to home, UWI Pro Vice Chancellor for Undergraduate Studies, Professor Justin Robinson, confirmed that AI cheating attempts had been uncovered at the institution, adding that the UWI had even discovered examples where 100% of a student's assignment was generated using an AI program. And the opposition would want to convince you that this is not a serious concern? This point brings me to one of the central arguments in this ethical debacle: plagiarism. In simple terms, presenting another person's work as your own. With the use of AI-powered essay writing tools, it is now extremely difficult to distinguish an essay produced by the software versus human written work. This undermines the very essence of education and can seriously compromise the integrity of assessments. Furthermore, AI tools can evade plagiarism detection software. While AI can identify instances of direct copying, it struggles to detect more sophisticated forms of plagiarism, such as paraphrasing. Plagiarism detection website Scribble.com tested 10 AI detectors and found an accuracy rate of 60%, making it easy for academic misconduct to go undetected. My opponents may want to mislead you into believing that using AI to generate content cannot be considered plagiarism. But whether you steal from your neighbor or you steal from your dog, theft is theft. Notwithstanding, using AI-produced content without full disclosure is academic dishonesty and cannot be allowed to infiltrate our education system. Students must be encouraged to be creative and exercise originality of thought. Madam Moderator, members of the audience, the threat that AI poses to critical thinking and academic integrity is real. We cannot turn a blind eye to the facts. Unless action is taken by policymakers and educational institutions to address these potential issues, the very foundation of our education system will be undermined. Our case is clear. My partner and I stand firm in our stance in full support of the mood that artificial intelligence in education poses a threat to academic integrity and critical thinking ability. Madam Moderator, the proposition rests.
Thank you, Ms. Fergus. That was the second speaker for the proposition team from the Montserrat Community College. And of course, the debate this evening surrounds artificial intelligence in education and whether it is a threat to academic integrity and critical thinking ability. Ms. Fergus did her speech in a total time of 6 minutes and 53 seconds. To close out this round of debating, I welcome the second speaker for the opposition, representing the Montserrat Youth Parliament, Ms. Michaela Cole. Please make her welcome.
We live in a world that is constantly changing, forever evolving, and we should evolve with it. For the only constant in life is change, a quote by the Greek philosopher Heraclitus. Moderator, esteemed judges, opponents, honorable speakers, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Today, my colleagues and I are here to argue if AI is a threat to academic integrity and critical thinking abilities. I am here to argue my stance that not only is AI not a threat, but that it enhances crucial aspects of education. In saying that, I'm not here to belittle anyone's concerns or reservations about losing skills with the advancement of technology, for they are valid concerns. Over time, standard skills like mental math, calligraphy, memorization, and many others have been diminished because there's an app for them. So naturally, when something as significant as students' critical thinking abilities comes into question, we should prioritize its preservation. However, the belief that the utilization of AI when researching reduces critical thinking skills is among the most common misconceptions attributed with the integration of AI with education. But AI, when used appropriately and strategically, does not threaten students' critical thinking abilities. In actuality, by online AI platforms offering access to a plethora of quality educational content, students are able to use those AI-powered tools to investigate multiple points of view, evaluate numerous sources of information, and establish their own judgments. AI can also help schools create tailored learning experiences that foster critical thinking abilities among students. With the use of AI algorithms, adaptive learning systems are able to recognize unique strengths and weaknesses of each student and modify the course material appropriately. This individualized approach pushes students to reflect critically on their own learning process and modify their methods accordingly. For example, the popular Khan Academy's purpose is to provide a set of online tools to assist in education of students. They conducted a research in compliance with the Every Child Succeeds Act, ESSA, to demonstrate that Khan Academy's tailored and engaging platforms help students worldwide to achieve higher math scores. Students' performances from the primary to college level in Brazil, El Salvador, Guatemala, Sri Lanka, and other countries were evaluated using randomized control trials, quiz experimental studies, and correlational studies using statistical controls. The results reveal that Khan Academy's tailored and engaging platforms help students all across the world improve their math skills and attributes, whether it's through improved standardized tests, grades, or college preparation. Now imagine those results across all subject areas. Another very troubling misconception is that somehow AI is responsible for the academic integrity for students, placing the burden on technology rather than individuals. According to TEXA, the Tertiary Education Quality and Standards Agency in Australia, academic integrity is the expectation that teachers, students, researchers, and all members of the academic community act with honesty, trust, fairness, respect, and responsibility. By definition, the responsibility lies in the hands of students and educators alike to uphold ethical standards. AI lacks nuanced understanding, a moral compass, and contextual interpretation that humans possess. Academic integrity often involves complex situations where intent, interpretation, and the context of the work matter. Instead of blaming a perennial problem on AI, we should have students bear the responsibility of conducting themselves ethically in their academic pursuits. Educators also play a crucial role in teaching students the importance of honest academic practices by making students understand the consequences of their actions. The truth is, AI plays a crucial role in preventing academic misconduct. As the proposition said, before AI-powered plagiarism detection tools, with their sophisticated algorithms and technology, educators had to rely on their own knowledge, judgment, and intuition in order to identify inconsistencies and similarities in their work, which was often time-consuming. Now with AI detection tools like Turnitin, we can go through a wide range of sources to find patterns in students' writing. These techniques are capable of detecting paraphrased information and guaranteeing a thorough review of academic contributions going beyond copy and paste detections. AI also helps to maintain academic integrity and combat cheating in online exam monitoring. Through the use of methods like gaze tracking, facial recognition, and keystroke analysis, AI may detect questionable activity in online tests. This serves as a warning as well as giving instructors information about possible integrity violation. AI essentially serves as a guard against academic dishonesty, assisting teachers in upholding the integrity of the learning process. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cole, and she completed her presentation in a total time of 7 minutes and 5 seconds. So we give you a chance to catch your breath, and we crave your indulgence for 5 minutes of quiet as we allow both teams to prepare their rebuttal presentations. For the rebuttals, before we start the time, just to give you an idea of criteria, the judges will be looking for the following: logical development. The argument must be developed along logical lines and presented in a well-ordered manner. Audibility and clarity. Speakers must be able to present the argument clearly and distinctly. Recall and analysis. Speakers must remember and explain or paraphrase the opponent's points. Command of language. Speaker must be comfortable with the proper usage of grammar, vocabulary, and expression. Spontaneity. Speaker must provide an impromptu delivery. Command of material. Speaker must have awareness of all matters relating to the subject and familiarity with the script. Body language. Speaker uses appropriate facial expression, moderate and appropriate gestures and movements. And this segment is a total of 90 points. Our timekeeper will start the 5 minutes now. We are back and ready to resume. If you're joining us or now entering the room, welcome to the Ministry of Communication Works Labor and Energy Month activity. We're doing a artificial intelligence debate competition, and this evening we have debaters from the Montserrat Community College and the Montserrat Youth Parliament. We are at the rebuttal round. Our judges are ready and our timekeepers are ready to go. I invite the representative from the opposition team to present their rebuttal. Our rebuttals must be done in a total of 5 minutes. Signals will be provided by our timekeepers, and we are ready to begin. So I invite the first or second speaker, the first speaker from the opposition team to present the rebuttal for her team. Please make her welcome, Ms. Kayla West.
Moderator, it seems as though we in Montserrat have gotten all too comfortable with this struggle mentality. AI has the ability to give us the desperately needed head start for innovation. AI can assist teachers and administrators with making informed decisions about how to improve the learning experience. By analyzing data on students' performance and engagement, AI can help identify areas where students are struggling and suggest interventions to help them succeed. The proposition also mentioned how AI will steal the jobs of teachers. Do you know how underpaid and overworked teachers are? If teachers are given tools such as AI, they will be able to have some form of assistance, something to help them grade and mark work. The proposition also mentioned addictive games like Candy Crush. Shouldn't we want students obsessed with learning? The key to effective learning is student engagement, and AI is a powerful tool that can help in capturing the attention of students. Think about it. AI is really a more advanced form of a public library, where past knowledge is easily curated for future reference. I want to leave you with this food for thought. What would happen if Elon Musk had to reinvent rockets and satellites before he could create his Starlink project? What if he couldn't use the technology and consolidated knowledge developed before him to manufacture batteries for Tesla? Thank you.
Thank you to the Leader of the Opposition for presenting the rebuttal. The rebuttal was completed in a time of 2 minutes. We now welcome the Leader of the Proposition, Ms. Weeks, who will present the rebuttal on behalf of their team. Just to let you know again, the time allotted is 5 minutes, and the rebuttal will be done by the Proposition team. Please put your hands together and make her welcome.
Madam Moderator, judges, members of the audience, good evening. I rise again in unwavering support of the mood artificial intelligence in education poses a threat to academic integrity and critical thinking ability. Do not be mesmerized by the utopian view of AI presented by the members of the opposition. Do not be swayed by the allure of convenience and efficiency in their claims. The threat that artificial intelligence poses to academic integrity and critical thinking are real and growing. Permit me to use the next few minutes to highlight the sweeping generalizations and fallacies in the opposition's argument. Madam Moderator, our opponents have stated that AI promotes critical thinking. However, this is not so, because AI is heavily reliant on algorithms and data. These systems are designed to make predictions based on patterns. While this can be beneficial in certain areas, it lacks the human capacity for reasoning and questioning assumptions. Therefore, AI cannot think beyond what it has been programmed to do, limiting its ability to engage in critical analysis. Additionally, Speaker 1 stated that AI needs a prompt and therefore applies some level of thinking. However, this is false, as not all AI tools need this. For example, AIEssayWriter.com. The first speaker of the opposition also made mention that artificial intelligence can enhance academic integrity. But as I stated in our speech, plagiarism is taking someone's work and presenting it as your own. If a student presents work generated by AI as their own, how then can the opposition say that AI promotes ethical practices and integrity? In fact, as there is no mention of sources when these AI tools generate information, when the information is taken and is, for example, presented to the teacher, the credibility and reliability of the information can be challenged. This may then lead to lower grades of students and may cause them to fail. Taken, for example, AI essay writer, when you give this tool a prompt and it presents information, it makes no mention of where its information is sourced. Therefore, if a teacher uses this information by a student and they present it to the teacher, they not only stand to get low marks because of plagiarism, they also face the serious issue of coming before a disciplinary bond. This may lead to expulsion. Madam Moderator, the opposition has failed to convince us the premise of our argument. Madam Moderator, the opposition has failed to convince us. The premise of our argument is not to deny the undeniable benefits that AI can bring to the education system. However, when it comes to the concerns of surrounding cheating, plagiarism, bias, inaccuracies, and laziness, AI can be detrimental if not addressed. Madam Moderator, we are even more affirmed than before in our stance that artificial intelligence in education poses a threat to academic integrity and critical thinking ability. I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Weeks. She was the leader of the proposition representing the Montserrat Community College, and she completed her rebuttal in a time of 3 minutes and 38 seconds. So you can take a deep breath, debaters. Your work has been completed, and the job is now for the judges and auditors to put together the scores. We'll give them a few moments to do so, and while they prepare to leave the room and have their deliberations, we invite the audience to share their feedback and to be part of the discourse. We have a few students, and I know they have their own opinions and facts to share, so we look forward to that. But I take this opportunity to congratulate and commend our speakers on both sides for a very engaging discussion this evening and for presenting very well. So please put your hands together again for our debaters for a job well done. I take it Ms. Payne will be escorting our judges, so I invite you to tally your sheets and pass them to the left. So just for those present, you'll see that there is a mic placed in the central aisle. If you have any comments or cues, please indicate, and you can make your way to the mic once the judges have left the room. Feel free to ask any questions or make any remarks or share any inputs that you have related to the moot or any thoughts that were provoked as a result. I will inquire of one of the members of the team to update us if there are any questions or comments on the virtual side so that we can incorporate those members of the community who are watching online. So we wave goodbye to our judges as they go to complete their task. And I would like to invite any members of the audience who would like to make comments to join or to stand at the mic. As we reflect on this evening's discussion, again, we say the topic, artificial intelligence in education poses a threat to academic integrity and critical thinking ability. And I reflect on my time as a debater not so long ago, when the topic of discussion then was the impact of technology on our schools or the impact of technology on students. So the more general term of technology and the fears associated at the time with how we would incorporate technology into the school systems, the pros, the cons, and everything in between. I also think back to concerns that were raised not too long ago about incorporation of 5G and how 5G would affect us and the fears associated with that. Now, several years later, the use of technology is now so common, and we are very much comfortable with it. So it's interesting this evening to listen to the discussions and conversations on both sides as we looked at how AI poses a threat and what the possible benefits could be for use in education. I'd like to highlight some key points made on both sides as just a listener, and commend the teams for very good research done, highlighting the role of AI as a predictive mechanism and something that consolidates data for us. For those of us who have had the joy of doing any form of research project, we know what a task it can be to go through a number of sources and to consolidate and to find common threads. So we see the advantages. We also appreciate some limitations in terms of the machine or computer technology being unable to be maybe as subjective as humans tend to be, but appreciating that maybe a more objective approach is useful when it comes to evaluating data and information. Teams also highlighted the whole concept and concern regarding the value-based system and academic integrity, the importance of honesty, respect, and responsibility. My question to the audience is it the role of, is it the role of AI or is it the role of our educators to teach how to utilize and manipulate AI, or is it the role of our educators to focus on maybe a value-based system that encourages academic integrity on a separate note? We have our first comment or question.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I think that debating is always a useful exercise to engage in. As a matter of fact, when one debates well, he can convince others to follow his lead, even though he may be entirely wrong. And so there are times when, irrespective of the merits of the argument, based on its presentation, one determines whether the individual has done well or has been convincing enough. My concern this evening is, what is the role of technology? And I see AI as an advanced, sophisticated form of technology. If the role of education is to produce a child of a certain caliber and quality, does technology assist in that endeavor? That is the question. Having been involved in education myself for a mighty long time, I have come to the conclusion that technology does not contribute in any meaningful way to producing the kind of student that we desire and we deserve. Education in my books, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to finish now, is supposed to offer us, supposed to present us with a child, a student a young person who is not only academically brilliant, who is not only as bright as the sun, but also has a sense of compassion, is not only functionally or readingly literate, so to speak, but more importantly, is capable of exhibiting the multiple intelligences that we learn about from various educational theorists and academicians. Does a child, for example, have social literacy? Do students leave schools with the soft skills that are needed in a world that 21st century, with all its modernities, demand? I am suggesting, no, I am contending that technology, including AI, has not contributed very much in that endeavor. When we determine whether education, the process of education is being successful, in fact, when we decide how to measure whether education is successful, whatever yardstick we use, I do not believe, if we are honest, that technology can be counted as one of the major contributing factors. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our audience member for sharing your views and opinions. Do we have any other comments from the audience with respect to the comment or in general for our debaters based on their presentation? Very interesting take on this side in terms of the role technology has played, whether for or against, and producing the type of citizens, I'm going to go broader, that we'd like to see. I do agree that there is a role for education in terms of education going beyond just academia and the importance of social literacy and emotional intelligence. The question I'd have, not to you, but in general, is whose responsibility does that lie with? Is it purely education? Will we return to a system where the entire community is responsible for raising our citizens? So the whole concept of academic integrity, I think it was the opposition side who mentioned the value-based system that integrity is based on, honesty, respect, responsibility, and how those values and sharing those values tie into our education system beyond just utilization of information. I think it's very good that the ICT unit under the ministry has brought forward this debate and has chosen to have the conversation in this way. And as the policymakers, as the persons leading ICT on island, I think it's a good sign that they have that keen interest in having the conversation with the community. It will be a thought for those of us here and those tuned in of how we as a community will integrate artificial intelligence. In many ways, we are already utilizing the system, whether we know so or we choose not to. And whether we do so intentionally or not will be up to us. I think also there's a role in terms of the education aspect. We're focused on academic integrity, but one of the debaters made a good point that plagiarism, and I quote, plagiarism predated artificial intelligence. And so knowing that this challenge of academic integrity existed before we had artificial intelligence, what have we really done about that? Is it really up to us to eliminate AI because the issue of plagiarism exists? It existed before now. And in any way, how would we counter that, or how would we try to reduce it? Just to also make a comment in terms of critical reading and writing, I think back to, those pelicans in the room will know there's a course as part of the UE curriculum that speaks to critical reading and writing. And so all members of, or all students are required to do some form of critical reading and writing. It's part of one of the courses. And it ensures that all students are taught, it's not assumed that you will respect it, but all students are taught and expected to pass a course that speaks about academic integrity. You're taught, how to manipulate data, how to provide good sources, how to paraphrase and manipulate information in a way that allows it to be your own without taking credit for other people's work. And there may be room now in our curriculum and with all the education reform that's existing and going on to add that and have that be one of the courses occurring in our schools, at the high school and probably college level. It'll make your job a little harder as students but it would be to your benefit to learn the skill earlier rather than later. I know that we have some scores in, so I see the tallying going on. I would ask that any members of the college group who would like to make a comment can do so now, if there are any interested in doing so. And if any members of the audience would like to comment, I see representatives from the National Youth Parliament here as well who would like to commend their teams. Feel free to do so at this time.
Just want to say congratulations to the persons who were debating tonight. Kudos to you. I know it takes a lot of heart to come up there and speak in front of people. Also, kudos to the ministry for putting on such a debate, as we know that we live in an ever-changing environment where every day things are changing. And an issue that we have as people is that we are afraid of change and we are not used to change. But as time goes by, things get better for us. And I believe, Dr. Skerritt, what you were speaking about at UWI is learning for academic success, I must say, where you ought to go through that phase before you advance to any other level. A lot of persons in this age are trading, for example, where basically AI does the job for you. However, you ought to, So again, congratulations, guys. Congratulations, guys. You guys did well. Whoever wins tonight, you did well, and hope next year it will be something bigger, and it will be here again.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your comments. Any representative from the college would like to give their input? Okay, there were other interesting points. I know that there are some persons joining the feed only now, so I'm just going to give a quick recap. Mention and focus was given as well to the benefits of utilizing artificial intelligence for our teachers, the ability to customize particular work and learning plans for students, and utilizing online platforms such as Khan Academy, which could be used to teach and sharpen skills. There's room for integration of these concepts. I know that some of our teachers are already utilizing the artificial intelligence to make themselves a little bit more efficient. And I think it's helpful in the sense that, as was mentioned, they are in high demand, they have a lot of work to do, and there are ways to become more efficient in and outside of the classroom by using this technology. The whole discussion of the subjectivity versus the objectivity of the systems, it is purely predictive, so it is a gamble, like many persons who know when you have to bet, you have to wager. And so it all depends on what goes in. And so quality data is essential to utilizing artificial intelligence in the correct manner. I was sent a note just now. I just want to make note of it or just to announce it. The best speaker this evening will be receiving an Amazon Kindle as their prize. So that's an additional prize that will be provided. We do know that the winners this evening take away 2 laptop computers sponsored by MNI Networks. And to the second place winners, they are sponsored smartphones from the local Flow management team. We wait now for the judges to return and provide the updates for their scores and feedback. just to provide some input from our team joining us virtually for those participating. We have a comment, commendable performance to the teams, very great points on both sides. This participant says, however, I am more biased to the defense as it does make work less stressful having artificial intelligence to assist with workloads. Someone else is commenting that this stream was very interesting and informative, great arguments on both sides, and amazing debate. Would like to see this happening again. While acknowledging the merits of AI in workload assistance, it's important to consider the potential downsides. This viewer mentions job displacement, de-skilling, and over-reliance on technology. Before we wrap up, any other comments from our audience? Please do so now.
Good night, all. As a foreigner, I was wondering if I should comment or not, but I decided to talk because there seemed to be a little lull. Who is a foreigner too? Oh, all right. Then. Very vocal one. Okay, good night. I'm Caroline Betty. Okay, I really would like to say that I enjoyed the debate. If I'm to comment, though, I think the opposition kind of was a little more forceful with their thoughts, clearer, in terms of the ideas were coming across a little clearer. I'm speaking from the angle of a debater. It really is a thought-provoking mood. I have had two experiences. One, I was taking care of my siblings, and I noted that my youngest brother was glued to the tablet, and when you would take it from him, he'd become very violent. I mean, very, very violent. And I got quite concerned. Then there was a trend that was noted in Facebook. Quite a number of parents expressed the same concern that they could not extricate anything like that from their children, to the point where some thought it was some form of demonic possession because it was getting out of control. But I do believe that only really happens when there's lack of supervision, really, and when you don't put things in place from the get-go. So instead of just leaving them because you're probably tired, you can't bother, and you leave them to just their own devices, they become too involved, and then you have a real problem. Now, speaking from the angle of a university student, I was quite fascinated with Turnitin. I was a victim of it. I will admit that I did a lot of copy and pasting because it made my life much simpler. And that thing done whooped my ass, I'm telling you. My lecturer was like, Dr. Betty, you did not do this. Yeah, I had to get it down to a critical point. I remember staying up hours in the night until I got it to just 1 point below the minimum. Yeah, that thing don't play. So, I mean, there are really two real sides to it. And for you to consider threat, I mean, you just play around with the words a bit. I hope I'm not boring anybody. Because in truth, if you say to somebody there's a threat that you can fall down the stairs, that is correct. But if you don't have stairs, you won't be able to go up to another level. So when you're arguing a mooch like that, you have to play around the little corners like that and just go into all the little black spaces and just kind of scoop your way around. Because anybody can say it's a threat in that, yeah, you might use it this particular way, but you don't want to say, hey, yes, you can, but have we not advanced because of this? So how about we put things in place that become less of a problem, in terms of argument? I would also like to suggest one last thing. When you're doing the debate, I found that you spent a lot of time on the podium, skipping through your papers, both sides. It would be good if you could get like some index cards, make your notes on it, become very intimate with your speech so that you're looking directly at the audience and you engage your audience. So you're looking at them as opposed to be down reading. So that way, if anything is coming across, instead of you be like, where was I again? You become so intimate with it, you don't even have to look to your speech. I don't know, do you allow point of informations in these debates?
Not in this setting.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm done, goodbye.
Thank you very much for your commentary. When it comes to debate season, we always have very involved members of the audience, and we appreciate your feedback and your comments. The teams, of course, are ever evolving, and practice makes permanent, so it's always good to have feedback. So we're at the segment where we begin to announce results. And at this time, I would like to invite the lead Best Speaker judge, Mr. Sanjay Thomas, to provide an update on this evening's Best Speaker. Please make him welcome.
Good evening, everyone. I would first of all like to start by commending and congratulating all 4 of our debaters for a job well done. And can we have a round of applause, please? Both teams did an exceptional job in presenting their arguments, and we are proud of you for that. However, as per the outline criteria, our task was to identify the best speaker amongst the 4 speakers. Before announcing the recipient of this honor, I would like to share some general observations that we made, focusing on the key aspects that shaped our evaluation. Firstly, many speakers demonstrated a commendable command over the material, showcasing a profound understanding and familiarity with the subject matter. This depth not only enhanced your arguments, but also rendered your presentations to become highly persuasive. Secondly, it was noticeable that majority of the speakers heavily relied on reading their content, which at times affected their articulation and your clarity. So debaters, you are encouraged to become familiar with your work so that when you stand, you don't have to so reliably look down on your material. And as someone was saying earlier, one good practice is to always learn the first few lines and the last few lines on each page. So when you flip, you know what's coming next, so you have the time to flip, say the next line, and keep going. That's one practice that I learned. Moreover, the pace at which some speakers read was noticeably rapid, contributing further to the challenge of maintaining clarity and fluency throughout your delivery. Lastly, while speakers engaged with the audience, we observed that eye contact, which is a crucial element in effective communication, was unfortunately minimal across the presentations. These observations, highlighting strengths and areas for improvement, have guided our assessment process in determining the best speaker tonight. And so, in summary, Tene was exceptionally effective in her delivery. She skillfully ensured clear and audible communication, demonstrating a profound command in her delivery. Additionally, she adeptly employed persuasive techniques, crafting a presentation that was not only compelling, but also left a lasting impact on the audience. This comprehensive approach showcased a high level of proficiency in both communication skills and content mastery, making the presentation engaging, informative, and persuasive. And with that, I say congratulations to our best speaker for tonight, Miss Tene Fergus.
Thank you to our lead Best Speaker judge, Mr. Thomas, for presenting the results for Best Speaker, and congratulations to Ms. Fergus on being judged Best Speaker for this evening's debate. I now welcome Head Judge for the main segment, Mr. Nish Brown, to provide an update from our judging panel on the winners and giving us some feedback.
Good evening, everyone.
I will announce the winning team tonight, but before I do that, let me just give some feedback. And I love to start off with the positives before I say anything else, so let me do so. I believe that both teams did reasonably well. I think that we had very good intros. Both teams had very good punchlines. They grabbed their audience, they captivated their audience with their introductions. They also made very good use of storytelling. And I was very, very pleased to see that we had regional statistics in our debates. Many times we have statistics from global sources, but not many times we have regional sources. I was pleased to see that. They also followed a proper debating format with an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. And they also showed some familiarity with the topic artificial intelligence. And now to move on to some constructive criticism. We felt like some of the debaters read a lot. Sometimes they didn't keep good eye contact with the audience. We also felt that they didn't provide enough statistics to support the argument at times. And we also felt that some of the debaters didn't show a great understanding of the material and the mood. Sometimes you have to be very careful because you can make the point for the other team when you're trying to explain your own point. So you have to have a good understanding of your topic and what you're purporting. We felt that some of the points were underdeveloped, and both teams had great points, but we felt that there was a focus on plagiarism, and some of the other good points weren't fleshed out as they should have been. And lastly, we felt that it would be good if they can show some familiarism with their topics. Sanjay and my friend from abroad gave some good suggestions about how we can keep eye contact with our audience by using flashcards and other methods to further show familiarity with your topic. Now, before I announce the winner, I just want to congratulate both teams. I believe that we had a good debate today, and as the chairperson said, it's not about winning or losing. It's about having a conversation about a very pertinent topic, artificial intelligence. And I might say that artificial intelligence is one of the scariest and most exciting things that I've seen in a very, very long time, probably even more than 5G. I believe that it is coming, whether we like it or not. And it is important that we have these debates because it's going to start to be used in our schools. Some smartphones are starting to roll out with artificial intelligence. Some TV shows that you might not be aware of use artificial intelligence ads that are geared towards hooking you. As one of the debaters said, social medias are using AI. So it's coming, whether we like it or not. So it's important that we have these discussions. And without any further ado, let me announce the winner. With 723 points, our winners for today are the proposition, Tine and Alia. I would like to congratulate you on a job well done. And of course, I'd like to also congratulate our opposition on a job well done.
Thank you to our lead judge, Mr. Brown, for bringing remarks on behalf of the panel. And at this time, I'm going to invite Nish to join us to be part of the prize giving ceremony. We're going to be giving certificates and gift bags to our participants. Some of our prizes are not yet ready, but for those that are available this evening, we will be giving them out. And so I invite Ms. Payne. Nish, you can join us at the front so that we can have our certificates of participation being distributed and then our gift bags. So we invite first to collect their certificate of participation, the proposition team, we invite Ms. Weeks to come forward and Ms. Fergus to collect their certificates. Face the cameras. Thank you. We invite Ms. Fergus, second speaker for the proposition team. We welcome members of the opposition, Ms. Kayla West and Ms. Michaela Cole, to receive their participatory certificates. Okay, we invite the teams back again for a group photo and to receive your gift bags. Please stand at the front. Nish, you can stand in the middle. Right, thank you very much. And to our opposition team, just wait for your floor prize. You can have a seat. As we said, the second prize this evening is sponsored by Flo Montserrat, and they will receive smartphones on behalf of the Flo team. Well, it was a pleasure. Thank you, Nish. It was a pleasure to be your moderator for this evening. I'm going to be handing over to our chairperson, who will give a vote of thanks. Thank you to our debaters, our officials, and the audience.
All right. Good night once again, and I'll spin it from the top of my head. I have no idea where the rest of my papers, but okay, we'll go right ahead, right? Hopefully I don't leave out anyone. Right, so I am responsible for giving our vote of thanks tonight, and let me start off by saying thank you to all of our debate officials. Thank you to our moderator, Dr. Tiffany Skerritt. She did a lovely job this evening. I'd like to put your hands together for Ms. Tiffany Skerritt. Right? She never shies away from saying yes to helping out and doing these sort of things. I'd like to say thank you to all three competition judges, Mr. Nish Brown, Ms. Nerissa Golden, and Ms. Ronelle White. I'd also like to say thank you to our best speaker judges, Mr. Sandra Thomas and Ms. Siobhan Tewitt. Let's put our hands together for our judges. Right. Our other officials for the night, we have our two auditors. I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Vika Rodney, Ms. Marissa Allen for tallying our scores. I'd also like to say thank you for our timekeeper for this evening, Ms. Jody Baptiste. She kept us on time, kept us going, and gave us our indications. I'd also like to say thank you to our debate teams. Without them, none of us would be here this evening. I'd like to say thank you to the proposition side, our students from the Montserrat Community College. I'd like to say thank you to our opposition side, our members from the Montserrat Youth Parliament. I'd also like to say a special thank you for those who would have helped them, such as the Honorable Speaker of the Legislative Assembly, Ms. Shalina White, and as well as Ms. Tanisha Christopher, I hope I got that right. For the Montserrat Community College side. Let's put our hands together for them. Today, we had sponsors that we are very, very grateful for. Let me say a great round of applause for our first place sponsors, M&I Networks Limited, and to Flow Montserrat for sponsoring our second place winners. Let's give them a big round of applause. We also have to say thank you to the ministry for some of the additional paraphernalia that we would have passed out in our little goodie bags that we gave to our debate. I'd also like to say thank you to our permanent secretary, Colin Fergus. I'd like to say thank you to the entirety of our ministry team, that includes the ICT unit, other members of staff that helped up here and there to bring you our production here tonight. And last but not least, I would like to say thank you to each and every one of you here tonight. I'd also like to say thank you to our technical support. We have iTech Montserrat, as well as from GIU, Mr. Philip Braid and his team. Let's put a round of applause for them. They brought our live tonight. I'd like to say thank you for coming out. Thank you for taking time to drive down here, to walk down here, to get here, to sit here, to listen, to participate, to make your voices heard. It was very, very welcomed, and it was very, very appreciated. Thank you. And with that, we close out tonight's proceedings.